What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Africa 101 Live. Emma is my name. So, today I just wanted to say thank you for watching, for those who have just joined us, and also we're going to be sharing a few ideas that have been floating around, and also talk about the COVID 19, so formerly known as the Wuhan virus. So today we're just going to talk about some of the things that have been on the web that you might have missed, and some lessons that we should learn along the way. So there's this there's this story where the Russian president Putin says that Africa is a cemetery for Africans. Now, some Africans will get very pissed off right now, but no, this is a good story. It's the fact. It's what we see. It just takes some people the strength and the courage to say it. We just bypass the things because sometimes we don't want to hurt people. We want to make everybody feel happy. But when I see stories like this from this gentleman, the president of Russia, this is what Africans need to know. If he comes out and tells it to you straight in your face, you'll judge him. You'll think he's such a bad guy. He said these things. How dare he says that Africa is a cemetery for Africans. But he's right. He's very right. Here we are, the so-called leaders of Africa. Look at them. Look at them. The so-called African leaders, not knowing that this is the problem we're having. It takes guts for someone like that to come and tell you that Africa is a cemetery for black people, for Africans, which is true. Our African leaders, once they get rich, where do they send their money? Abroad. When they get sick, where do they go? Abroad. Their banking is abroad. Their children, abroad. Where do they go shopping? Abroad. When a white person comes to Africa and does vaccine experiments, do you think they will stand up and say, these are my people? As long as some people get paid, I don't think they care. Because it's not affecting anyone near them or close to them. So for every other African, well, that you just become a statistic. And eventually, where do you end up? In a graveyard. Why are we misusing this opportunity? Let me just say, this coronavirus, the COVID-19, this virus was, okay, I don't know how I can say it, but the positiveness that we can get out of this virus, let this virus be a reset button for every nation. Like, look at Mother Nature right now. Let me just say, I've taken long without seeing butterflies. You might not believe that. But now I can see so many butterflies, so many flies, so many bees are starting to come back. Just within these few months of the lockdown. This is Mother Nature trying to get back to its best. Butterflies are getting back. You might have missed them unknowingly. And yet sometimes even when you're driving, you don't, and they cross the road, you feel like, oh, what have I done? I've just hit a butterfly. But when you don't have that consciousness, the consciousness of life in you, everything becomes rubbish to you. You just step over it with no respect of any kind of life. But at the moment, during this lockdown, nature is back. It's coming back. So maybe this is the moment where mankind can also do a reset. It's time for Africans to reset the African nations. And yes, I like that. He's looking at it as Africa being a cemetery. So some of you might not take it nicely because he said it, but yes, we do need to understand it. This sugar coating everything and say, okay, Africa is this, it's wonderful, no, it's messed up. If your home is messed up, you work hard to fix it. But we've got into a mentality as African people. We expect someone to come save us. From when religious beliefs came in, same thing. We're expecting someone to come save us. And the indoctrination of a savior being white. That big sign of Jesus that you have in your house. That's the mentality we've got in our heads at the moment, because we think every white person is a savior for Africa. That's why they can come back and play with you. Because you just don't want to think. You don't want to understand. Your people need you. Where are you? Until it's time for campaigns, then you come back and you're this wonderful, great guy. Just to please them. Because they just need entertainment and distraction. Through entertainment. Look at us. So when I read this story about President Vladimir Putin saying that Africa is a cemetery for Africans, at first I read it and I'm like, oh, okay. Until you start understanding what this guy actually says. And then he concludes by saying, how can you develop a cemetery? Seriously, to all these men in suits, so-called presidents, your fellow president, the president of Russia, tells it to you straight. And you still don't want to understand that. Why? Because we've always expected a white man to come help us. Is it because we were indoctrinated? This is the reset moment. This COVID-19 can be a reset button. Like for the youth are very confused at the moment. Because we're just still as confused as ever. Until when? Nowadays, most of them have learnt a lot without even going to school. Some of them have even learnt more than they would have. And they're waking up. They are not the sleeping sheep. And that's why you see some governments are confused. They don't even know how to handle them. That's because the era is changing. We're in an information age. That means they can pick up quicker than somebody who has gone to university. They can pick up quicker than anyone. This is their moment, and they are confused because our leaders are still busy getting loans. All they do is, let's teach you how to write proposals. No, stop with the bullshit of proposals. Let's get serious. We've got brains in Africa. Why not use them? All we do is try as much as you can, get rich. Send all your kids abroad. Get rich. Get treated abroad. Get rich. You don't even bank in your own country. What a shame. With no shame, you take all your money and you stand there, I'm the president of this country. I'm banking my money here. Your own people are back home sick. It just takes one scientist to think of where to go and do a test. And all they do is, okay, we've just got this proposal. These guys are asking for money. They carry a proposal and hit it on the desk and say, okay, we've got $10 million for this country. Together with our tests. And we get people who are so excited clapping their hands. They think they've done wonderful things. Look at them. They think they've done good. Your country is getting narrow by the day. Well, what do I mean by your country is getting narrow? Okay, so let's say the biggest financing body in Africa, it might be China, let's say. So when China gives you a loan, they give you a lot of money that you're not going to pay, and they know very well you're not going to pay it, but they give it to you. So what did you expect? Sometimes we read and we bypass the small print. Sometimes they don't even make them small print. They make them so big that you miss them. They make them so big that you with all your geniusness, you miss them. And yet some of the clues can say, if you don't pay this money by this time, we will take over your airport. We'll take over your land, your farms. And once they take the land, this is why you see all these African leaders who are here laughing. Let me tell you, it pisses me off because we see all of them. I have a picture here I wanted to open. Where is it? There. There's a picture I have here. I don't know if I'll get it to open. I might not be. Just bear with me for 1 second. I don't even know where I put it, but there was a picture I wanted to show you guys. It was a picture of most of the leaders of Africa. Oh, here we go. Okay, where are you? Ooh. Okay. Let me just size it here. Just bear with me for 1 sec. I should have done this before I started the show. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here are the leaders of Africa. So, when you look at these guys, what are we missing in this picture? We have a bunch of men. Before they became presidents, they were men like you and I. But as soon as you get a title, you change. We are still your people. We are still, like, look at the continent of Africa itself. until some guy from Russia comes out and tells you that, and you still don't get it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. Have a nice day.